Hello and welcome back to the series Keeping Yourself Safe. My name is Barlet and I'm the Public Advocacy and Outreach Manager for the Berks County Area Agency on Aging, who is providing and sponsoring these 4 educational series. Our segment today as part of Keeping Yourself Safe is Seniors and Crime. And I'm pleased to have my guest with me today is Detective Robert Heiden, and you're with the Berks County Detectives out of the District Attorney's Office. So
yes,
welcome. Thank you so much. I know that we've got a lot to cover. Certainly we could have many shows and many segments on this one issue. So what we've done is we've tried to really hone down key areas that we felt that seniors may become victims of crime, and begin with that. So the first is, let's start with how criminals, why and how are criminals targeting seniors? Because, you know, our focus on seniors, and they certainly target all ages and all things, but, you know, tell us a little bit more about some of the basics and why do they target seniors?
Okay, Ann. Well, our seniors are the first generation of Americans that have wealth. They have 401ks, they have pension plans, they own their own houses. They've expanded from what typically for maybe their grandparents were exclusive neighborhoods that they were born in, grew up in, worked in, and they've gone off. And by doing that, they've worked in areas and fields that it allowed them to own their own homes, to provide money and wealth for their family through different types of investments. So they are prime targets because they have money.
Okay, who knew? You know, it was going to be such a bad thing in the future. But yes, they scrimped and saved and went through a lot and paid off things and debts and bills, and are able to have some of that extra kind of some spending money in addition to good savings.
And that's really part of it too, is that where a lot of younger people use plastic and charge stuff, our older Americans come from a generation where you paid cash. And if you didn't have the money, you didn't make that purchase. So therefore, they did nickel and dime and saved, and they have those. They have that nest egg now for their later years. And unfortunately, some people know about that, and the bad guys go after it.
Okay, so we know kind of that in itself by the criminal. They've established that, and they're thinking, okay, here's a target. So let's look at also seniors have some vulnerabilities. Being an older adult.
Yes, they do. I guess it's just human nature, but about the age of 25 is when your brain is most developed.
Oh no!
Peaks out at 25.
Okay.
And from there, it's slowly downhill. And everybody's an individual. Every citizen is a little bit different. So mental capacity starts to slow down and decrease at various times for different people, depending on their biological makeup, their genetic makeup, and what they've been through in their life. So in our later years, we're not quite as sharp as we were when we were in our 30s.
Okay. So let's start with, I think that we want to begin with some of we talked earlier in our discussion about some of the areas that seem to be more prone to target seniors, either by location or certain habits that older adults have, certain areas where that criminal combining some of that extra money and knowing that I can seem to get them here or here better. So I know that we talked about some things. My concern, I see a lot of just general issues with people in grocery stores or shopping. So, and I'm one of those that I'm past 25. I know it's hard to believe, and so I'm on a downhill with the memory and the brain.
Right there with
and
you.
I love to shop. So you got me hooked on. Let's start with. I know we talked a little bit about the shopping, whether it's general shopping, groceries, whatever.
Distraction thefts are a common type of theft. They're easy. The risk of getting caught is low, so it's something that the criminal is willing to take a shot at. An easy example is in the grocery store. A lot of people, it's just not older Americans, it's a lot of people who, when they push the cart, they keep their purse or they keep a bag, a wallet in generally the part of the cart where the child might be sitting. And you turn and you're looking for an item on the shelf, and you're trying to decide that brief moment, am I going with this name brand or this local brand? And it's that quick. And what our bad guys are doing is they're walking around the store and they're watching you shop. So if they find somebody who's taking their time and looking and trying to decide or going off a list, they know they have that opportunity. They're going to have a little bit of time. So they're going to look to see, is that person, is there a purse there? Is there something of value in that cart I can take and easily walk away with? And they'll wait for the right moment when our victim or future victim doesn't know it yet, is reaching up to grab something off the shelf, or steps away from the cart because, oh, I forgot something, or all of a sudden you went past the apples and you wanted the green apples.
Yep.
And
I've seen that a lot, where they've pushed past and, oh, I needed that, and they walk back, leaving their cart up here.
And that quickly, they're going to walk by, reach in. Hopefully, they're hoping that they're grabbing the wallet or the inner container that might have money in it.
Okay.
But whatever they're going to grab quick and keep walking, all in one motion. This way it doesn't draw attention to themselves. And then they're going to walk away and figure out what they have.
Okay.
And in that quick of a second, your money's gone, your purse is gone, your ID's gone, your wallet's gone. And our victim doesn't know it yet because they're still looking at the food. And they're not going to realize it until maybe they get to the counter to pay. And now they don't have they don't have it. Or they may even think, maybe I left it in the car or I left it at home. The unfortunate part about this is that 5, 10, 15 minutes or a half hour gives the bad guy enough time to rifle through that, either take the cash or rifle through it, grab the credit cards, the ATM card, and possibly use it even at the store right next to the grocery store. And now they've suffered a loss.
Yep. So they've given them opportunity. And I didn't think that they don't actually grab the whole purse or the whole bag. That's clever, of course, that you're just going to reach that, because I'm not seeing that's gone, and I'm not assuming anything happened.
You're going to turn around and see everything looks the same, push your cart, and you're looking for the next item. And it's just not the grocery store. It can happen in any store. That's just an easier example.
Again, I've seen even in shopping, and people are in a dressing room trying something on. The purse is in the dressing room. They've put something on, and they've walked out to look at a mirror or something else, and someone can easily slip.
And even if you would turn around and you would see this person, or you would go back into the changing room area, chances are you're not going to be thinking that person just took something out of my purse, my wallet, my bag, because in a grocery store you're going to have people around you. It's common to turn around and almost bump into people or bump carts. So it's not out of place, and this is why the bad guy can blend so easily.
So a solution to that would be?
A couple solutions. First, maybe keep the bag locked and zippered.
Okay.
That's the easiest. Keep your list outside of it. This way, a lot of people will lay their list in their open purse.
Okay.
Carry your list and your pen or pencil with you. Keep your purse shut, because they're really not there. They're not going to grab your whole purse, because then they're a target when they can easily reach in and try to flip away. Another possible way to prevent this is keep your purse on you. And when you go to the grocery store, and you'll see this with a lot of people who travel, downsize your purse from a big bag to just a smaller purse that you can keep around your neck or across your body, and keep only the items you need. In all reality, you don't need to travel with your social security card. Just take enough cash to possibly cover the expenses, and just be aware of your surroundings a little bit.
Good. Okay. How about, I think we talked, staying with the distraction technique that the criminals use. again, moving forward in other settings with distraction itself, the technique that they use, and again, how they're picking on older adults.
Well, the first thing in stores, I mean, that happens all the time. Year round, everybody goes shopping in and out of stores, but this is beautiful out today. The sun's shining. It's probably good 65 degrees. We've had great weather all week. Makes you want to go outside and start cleaning up your house, cleaning up your yard,
Getting ready. It's spring cleaning
springtime.
in and out.
Well, what also happens is at this time of year, you have a lot of transient workers who make their money by scamming people, and they're looking for victims. And what they'll do is they'll go from door to door, and they might be trying to replace a roof, redo your driveway. And some of these companies are for real and legitimate companies, and they're going to have everything they need, which is a Pennsylvania license.
Okay, I'm glad you're saying this. So what should somebody look for legitimate businesses who may be coming around or maybe handing out leaflets inquiring as to for work?
Well, you should look for a company truck, some type of vehicle that has the company name on it, and not just a placard that's magnetic that they can take off and on. So first of all, a company truck that you've seen around, a name brand, a local name brand. There's a lot of smaller construction companies also, and they usually have their names on the vehicle, but in Pennsylvania you need a license to be a contractor. So there should be some type of Pennsylvania license, a number on that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things to look for, even with the paperwork they provide you. There should be a Pennsylvania license, there should be a name of the company, there should be an address, and there shouldn't be any pressure at all. So there's a lot of legitimate companies out there, contractors, people out there who are doing work, but what you have to look out for are things that look out of place. Maybe a vehicle that pulls up front and they have out-of-state plates.
Okay.
The vehicle doesn't have a company name on it, or it does, but it kind of looks like it's something you could take right off. And what else you have to look out for is just the pressure technique of trying to make you make that decision. Any businessmen want your business, so of course there's always some type of sales pitch, and there's also a little bit of pressure. They'd like to get you signed up now, but they want to present what they can do for you in a way that, even if you think about it, you're going to come back to them. So seniors have to know nothing needs to be done right now and today. Don't feel that pressure. There's a lot of businesses out there that are competitive, and if you think this is a great price, then somebody else is going to match that price or come close.
Okay.
And when this person comes to your door, distraction theft, just like with a purse, it's all trying to get you off center and not focused. So remember, before you answer your front door, make sure your back door is locked. When you answer your front door, don't open the door. Talk through the screen, talk through the glass.
Okay.
Find out what they want. If there's literature, of course they would want to hand it to you. You can tell them, put it in my mailbox, I'll get it later on.
Okay, good idea.
So these are all just little things to be able to gather information, but keep your distance from this person in case they are a bad guy.
Well, and I also heard, we talk with other scam issues, sometimes there's two people.
Yes, and that's where the distraction comes in. They're going to talk to you at the door and tell you, point out, well, first they're going to try to get you outside. And getting you outside does two things. One, they can really try to focus on the problem that they see, and it takes you away from your house, so you're out of your safety zone a little bit. But the second part is, now if there is somebody with them, they could be at your back door checking to see if they can get in. They know that if the ruse is to get you out onto the front porch, they know they can make a little bit of noise and you're not going to hear them.
Oh, okay. Yep.
In some cases, the main actor will even tell our future victim to, hey, can you come out here? I want to show you this. And
Did
now
you
you're
notice this is coming on?
Yes.
Did you see you needed
now
to
you're on the
back?
side of your house, or you're on the back of your property, even in a small lot. That's far enough away that these bad guys only need a minute or two to go in through the front door.
Because they know typically what they're looking for and where that's typically kept in one's home.
They're going to go quickly, maybe take a look on the kitchen table, see if you just happen to be doing your bills when they knocked on the door. They're going to shoot up to the bedroom. They're going to go to the top drawer in your dresser, bureau. They're going to grab whatever they can, and they're going to be out before you get back to your house.
Okay, good. So be cautious, be secure in terms of not be out front with the back door open, keep that locked, don't go out. Get information first. You can always look at it later. Don't be rushed or pushed into making that decision and immediate monies, deposit, whatever.
Yeah, ask them questions, you know, through the door if you're having this conversation and your door's locked, so it's safe. Oh, where's your company from? Where are you located?
Okay.
Do you have a local permit to go door to door? If you live I know in Spring Township, you have to have a permit to go door to door. To solicit. Muhlenberg has the same, and I believe the city of Reading has one too.
Okay.
And that's a good question to ask.
Okay.
And if they don't have the paperwork to show you, maybe it's
goodbye.
time to buy and call the police.
Okay.
And just say, hey, I had somebody knock at my door. I'm not
To
too
notify
sure.
them that they're in the area. Okay. Which leads me to the next question in terms of, we've talked, that kind of is a scam that we kind of educate folks. There's other scams. You mentioned currently we're at the spring season for fixing kinds of things, but also that typically around April 15th
Yes.
is something else called taxes.
Yes.
So how are they trying to get us during tax season too after we're having to pay taxes? You mean there's more?
There's more. There's more. There's a big push. And it usually starts probably about the second week of January. And the bad guys know that most companies, corporations, financial institutions, they're going to start sending out their forms, whatever 1099 or whatever forms they have to send out, probably about the second week of January, and it's going to cover the next 4 to 6 weeks. So you're going to be prepping to work on your taxes. They're going to call you and say, in preparation to receiving your taxes this year, we've reviewed your account and we've noticed that you owe us money. And a lot of times what they're going to do is they're not going to use a round amount like you owe $1,000 or $2,000, because that's just not realistic. Nothing ever comes out to exactly that amount. But they are going to tell you you owe $3,817.35. And you're going to say, well, that's impossible. I know I paid. And they're going to be a little bit pushy. No, you have to take care of this today.
Okay.
And their whole hopes is to get some type of credit card or bank account number, routing number, to get some of your financial records and information so they can go in after the conversation and go after you and take whatever they can. Excuse me. This is usually done on the phone. These types of scams, people don't come to your front door. And if you deny them, as I said, they're going to get a little bit pushy, but what they're also going to do is say, well, we're going to call the police on you. If you don't pay this now and provide us with the proper routing number, account number, or credit card number to pay this right now, we're going to call the police. That's not really what happens.
Okay. And really, in the beginning, we really don't get a call.
No.
I mean, obviously, it's tax related, so we won't get a call from the IRS. You know.
The bureaucracy of government.
Yes.
What do they like? Paper. So your initial contact by the IRS, if that's going to happen, is going to be through the mail.
Okay.
Because they want a record. And it's going to be certified mail. You're going to have to sign for something, so the postman takes that back and sends it back to the IRS local office, and they have a record. Later on, if that does happen during the process, later on you might receive some phone calls, but you should already know that's going to happen. So the initial contact by the IRS should always be through the mail.
Okay. So again, look out for what we'll say seasonal issues, such as the spring thing, or at least the tax season. Sometimes that's a prompt for the criminals to take advantage of us.
True.
Moving forward with the time that we have.
I just want to add one other thing on that, just so people know too.
Yeah.
The big push is when they say they're going to have the police come and get you and arrest you right away. Local law enforcement, we don't enforce federal law. So only a federal agent, a special agent assigned to the IRS, is going to come and get you. And that's not realistic, and that's not going to happen. Once again, too, if you're under investigation by federal law enforcement on that level, they're not going to come to your door and arrest you right away. You're going to receive paperwork that says you're under investigation and steps after that.
Okay.
These guys might try to push you, but nobody's coming to your door, not even them.
Okay. All righty. I know that we talked a little bit more about the things that occur as more seniors are becoming tech savvy, having computers. Sometimes it's just merely to keep in touch with family members, Skyping or just emailing or whatever. But I know that we talked a little bit. We have only a couple minutes to talk about some of the computer situations. And I know you told me about an email situation, like with a banks and bank letters, and I think that's important. So share that with us, if you will.
Everybody who's online usually has an email address, and it's real easy to start getting spam and junk mail because you sign up for different newsletters you might want to see, or you go to different sites, and now there's cookies left on your computer, which all in all, when you're out there on the internet, could generate your address being out there and you receiving some type of email. Well, the bad guys know about this, and they go fishing. So they're tech savvy too. They're not just sitting there. They have computer programs that just randomly grab internet email addresses, and then they'll just start sending out bulk emails. And you'll see this if you ever open up truly a spam email. You might see 7 or 10 different email addresses up at the top, and yours is one of them, and they're all kind of similar. They're off by a letter or a number, so they're just generating emails. What they're hoping you do is open it up. What they're hoping you do is that you see a bank's name, and it's a financial institution you're familiar with, and especially nowadays with the number of banks that merge and sell each other, there's a good shot that you have used one of these banks. And now you open up the email, and it's the color scheme that you expect your bank to have. It has the logo. It might be a little bit off. You might look at it and go, it's just a little bit off. Maybe it's my computer screen. But they have the basic information. And they might notify you that there's been a problem. We need you to contact us. We need you to fill out this form. And they might ask for something like your name, and then they're going to ask you for maybe your final four of your Social Security. Because a lot of times with financial paperwork or medical paperwork,
your credit card has it on.
You'll only have the final four of the account or your Social Security number, and everything else is X'd out. So that looks real,
legitimate, and the same.
But they're not really after that. It's the next two boxes that they're really after, and that next box is usually your account number. So give me your account number, and the final box, how much money do you believe should be in this account? And we'll double check it for you, and if there's a problem, we'll get back to you. So it's kind of like a reply type email. They're making it look like they're there to protect you, but what they really got is they have your account number and what you believe is in there. So if you believe there's $2,000 in that account, they now have that number, and they know they have a buffer about $2,000. They're not going to do something or make a purchase for $4,000 or $5,000 because that's going to send up red flags and close the account out. But can they make a couple purchases for $250, $300, and that's what they do.
Wow. Okay. So with that kind of thing, is there something? How do we manage that? Is that a reportable thing? Who do I tell?
If you've actually been a victim of a crime, of a fraud, you should report it.
Okay, so even that computer example.
Well, that computer example is kind of tough. There's not a lot the police can do on that. But if you're contacted by your bank, if you just get that email, there's really nothing law enforcement can do for you.
Would they, I mean, I always felt that the institution would want to know that I'm getting that, because obviously other people are too, and maybe they want to address that somehow, even if it's just as I go into the bank that says, if you are receiving these, you know, or something.
You might want to let your bank know about that, and if you want to let local law enforcement know about that, that's fine too. But those emails are a dime a dozen. They happen all the time.
Oh, wow, okay.
Your better bet is, if you find out you are a victim of a crime, to contact local law enforcement, contact district attorney's office, or contact the attorney general's office. And of course, contact the bank or financial institution so they know right away that it's possible their information has been hacked.
Oh, okay. Okay. We have only a couple of minutes. I know that we talked about other scams, and I know that we've done separate issues on elder abuse and financial exploitation.
Yes.
You might want to say one sentence, if you can, on that.
Just real quick on exploitation. Usually, in 50% of the cases, the actor is known to the victim. Unfortunately, that means it's either family or a close friend. Really,
which makes it hard.
It makes it very hard
for the victim to then want to report that, because it is the family member or friend, as you
don't want to think that your son, your daughter, your niece or nephew is stealing from you. But unfortunately, it happens.
And it's a crime.
It's a crime. So I would just say quickly, just always double check anything that somebody asks you to sign. And really, except if it's April 15th and tax day, there is no real reason that you have to sign that piece of paperwork now.
Okay.
Get a copy, take a look at it, and say, I'm going to have somebody else look at it. Have somebody else you trust double check it.
Okay, all righty. That way we can help a little bit avoid some of that future issues. It sounds like in the minute that we have, there are some key things I heard you say, that the criminal or the bad guys, you say, really they're pushy. They want you to do it now, whatever that is. Come outside, look at this work, sign this paper, we can fix it now. Pay this money, you know, the IRS wants you to pay this back money and do it now so you can move forward for this year. Sign this paperwork, mom, dad, family, friend, so we can help you out, but you got to do it now. So it sounds like being pushy, doing it now, are some of the elements. They don't allow the senior to think, to make decisions, to stop and question.
And that goes hand in hand with the older you get, a little bit slower and not as sharp as you were when you were in your 30s. So the bad guy wants that decision made now, before you sit there and look and go, well, that doesn't make sense. So try to take that extra couple seconds to think about it, to slow everything down. Slow everything down and look at it. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I want to read over this. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Good, thank you. Well, that's about the time that we have. I just wanted to remind everybody, if you have further questions or need more resources, you're welcome to call us at the Berks County Area Agency on Aging at 610-478-6500. The Attorney General office number is 866-623-2137, or contact your local police. Thanks very much for tuning in.